was an absolutely surreal experience.
Welcome back. This is a special coverage of the swearing-in ceremony of NDA 3 at the forecourt of the President's house. Thousands of people are to attend. Hundreds of MPs are going to be there, dignitaries, people, heads of state. Neighborhood first, minus China, minus Pakistan, and minus Myanmar. But before we start a journey into who's who, and what are they likely to get? There's a breaking news coming in. JP Nadda is to take oath as cabinet minister and Nadda has resigned as the president of the Bharatiya Janata Party. My question to my colleague Brijesh Pandey is, Brijesh, is this the leg up for letting Prime Minister Modi down?
Yes, and as we discussed earlier in the day that there is going to be structural overhaul starting from the centre itself. I think this is the first step towards that structural overhaul, and in next month or so, we will see structural overhaul both in Uttar Pradesh, also in Maharashtra, and many other states where the local unit didn't function as per the expectations of the BJP and led BJP short of 31 crucial seats, which otherwise would have had BJP forming the government on its own. I mean, it's one embarrassment which the BJP chief, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is not going to forget in a hurry. And that is the reason, with the start of Nadda being inducted as in council of ministers, it is very clear that a new BJP chief is going to be appointed very time soon.
Another decision that has been taken is to drop Anurag Thakur.
Yeah.
Anurag Thakur, the information broadcasting minister, has been dropped. You have a lot of political ups and downs in politics, but Anurag Thakur's drop has been pretty surprising. Himachal Pradesh Congress has done well. So the question is, does BJP has a larger role for Anurag Thakur? Or something has happened which has not been appreciated?
Well, it is very strange indeed, because you see Ravneet Kaur Bittu.
Strange or surprising?
Very surprising. The reason I'm saying this is that you have Ravneet Kaur Bittu being inducted as a minister, and many other inducted in the minister whose stature definitely Anurag's stature is bigger than theirs. But Anurag not being part of this gathering is definitely a huge surprise as far as I'm concerned.
If Anurag's absence is a surprise, I would also say that the absence of Smriti in the cabinet is also surprising, that sending an indication that Rajya Sabha will not be extended.
Well, Karthikeya, if you ask me honestly, I think, with Smriti, it's a different gig altogether. She was a Lok Sabha member. She emerged as a giant killer in 2019. She got her chance. She was defeated by Kishori Lal Sharma. And, now the BJP, for the BJP, which is now working on the crutches of several smaller parties and all, there are too many people to be accommodated. And in middle of that, I honestly don't, so other than Bittu, who I don't think is going to be given a cabinet minister, the BJP would definitely not want to, demote Smriti in rank and give her a MOS or MOS independent profile. So, Smriti not making part of this cabinet has definitely not come as a surprise to me at all.
Is this a cabinet of continuity? Or is this a cabinet of discontinuity? Is it a cabinet of compromise? Is it a cabinet of collaboration? Is it a cabinet of the reality which faces Bharatiya Janata Party? How will you define this cabinet for our viewers? What does this cabinet tell our viewers?
Well, it is a cabinet of continuity and also a cabinet of compromise, both. The reason I'm saying this is that for the first time, the BJP has to part away with the big ministries and it has to give it to TDP, Ram Vilas Paswan's LJP group, and also to continuity, I would say, because the top 4 ministry, I don't think anybody else is other than BJP is getting that. So it is a mix of both, continuity as well as a bit of a compromise.
Okay. So I'll be joined by Ajit Jha, senior journalist. Jayan Bhattacharya, senior journalist, and Dr. Anil Verma, political analyst. All three of us will remain with me throughout the evening. Tough for those who have an invite and who need to go. Easy for those who haven't invite and then they can make a choice not to go. And I think best for those who don't have the invite and can watch it on the TV, because I know it's 40 degrees outside. And it's not even the Darbar Hall or the Ashok Hall. We can just sit in the cool climes of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, aram se, and then once that's over, you can have tea and biscuits. And then
weather
you can
doesn't
go home.
get better before 7
but,
o'clock. So
I tell you, you have to get seated there at least 1.5 hours before. You can't carry bottles, security issues, thousands of people. You can't get up. There are, you don't have those bathroom facilities nearby. It's a different ball game altogether. Ajit, am I audible to you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Ajit, so the first question is that do you think that the JP Nadda's coming back to the cabinet, is it a pure play demotion or pure play lateral promotion?
I'm actually sitting in the hot seat. I'm sitting in Himachal Pradesh right now.
Lucky you, Ajit. You
right
don't have to rub it in.
Oh, where, if I may ask you? Where, if I may ask you?
Maklodganj.
Okay, I'll stop the conversation right there. There's a lot more to Maklodganj than Maklodganj, but then nonetheless, please.
So Anurag Thakur dropped. Obviously people are very unhappy because from my window, you can see the cricket stadium that Anurag Thakur built. From my balcony, I just saw it. And the people who run this place, they were telling me what a wonderful job Anurag Thakur has done. So that is obviously not going to be a very popular issue in Himachal, it seems. And then Nadda, again, technically from Himachal, although he grew up in Bihar for a long time. Nadda, I think, would probably be a better cabinet minister than BJP president. Reason, remember, he was a cabinet minister in the past, health minister, right? And I think his performance was much better there. He's not a great campaigner, like, let's say, Amit Shah or, leaders like that. He's too soft. He doesn't have the organizational ability.
People would joke in BJP, those who covered the party, कि हाथी के दांत दिखाने और खाने के कोई कई और होते हैं. So, so when people used to speak about JP Nadda, they would say that, JP Nadda is the face, but the guy who controls it is Amit Shah, the organization.
If I put it in a Congress parlance or parlance which is used for Congress, JP Nadda is nothing more than a rubber stamp.
But are you saying JP Nadda is like Mallikarjun Kharge?
I think Mallikarjun Kharge would have had more heft in the party.
So let me start with people not there in the cabinet this time. Some have lost the election, some have been moved out, but this is the list who were in the previous cabinet. Rajiv Chandrasekhar is not there, Smriti Irani, Ajay Kumar Mishra, Subhas Sarkar, Arjun Munda, Kailash Chaudhary, L. Murugan, Nisit Pramanik, Sanjeev Balyan, Kapil Patil, Rao Sahib Danve, Bharti Pawar, Kaushal Kishore, Bhagwant Khuba, V. Muralidharan, Mahendranath Pandey, Sadhvi Niranjan Jyoti, Bhanu Pratap Singh, Rajkumar Singh and Debashree Chaudhary. Quite a few numbers.
Well, I think, most of these people have also lost the election, Karthikeya. And as I said, that, in this new gig, the BJP doesn't have an absolute majority on its own. If it had an absolute majority on its own, then it may have accommodated, the likes of Smriti Irani or also, a couple of other people from there. But when you have don't have that much latitude, and also the fact that these people have lost, they would be more interested in accommodating the newly winner, because the continuity which you are looking for is there at the top four. Barring that, I think these names, after losing the election, their fate was pretty much sealed.
Let me take a quick comment from Dr. Verma and Jayanto, and then let's move forward. Jayanto is there. Let's go to Jayanto. We have a little technical issue with Dr. Verma. Let's clear the line first. Jayanto, JP Nadda, it means that they're looking for a new president, and I'm sure it's not going to be Amit Shah.
Karthikeya, it was up in the air for some time. It was being talked about. And let me name one more person in that list that you have just been talking about. And since I cover and follow that particular region, West Bengal, the president of BJP in West Bengal, Sukanto Majumdar, is also going to be, as it's almost certain, going to be inducted in the new cabinet. So now BJP also has to find a new face to be the president of West Bengal. Now, coming back to the national president, the BJP, it has been, as I started with saying, that it has been in the air for some time. And I totally agree that he has not been an organizational man the way that the team of Narendra Modi and Amit Shah would look for. Secondly, he has been quite friendly, if I can put it that way, with many people around, that is including other parties as well as his colleagues and others also, including the media also, though he is not much that officially talkative, but he has been friendly. So all this put together, and especially after this round of elections, the results that we saw, it was impediment that this change was about to come. So it's not really surprising, but that he has been inducted, being inducted in the new cabinet. Let us say probably now for the time being. So that shows that Narendra Modi still has faith in him as a minister, and soon we will find a new not only national general secretary, national president of the party, also in certain states also.
Kartikeya is Purushottam Rupala. He is one from Gujarat, but it does not find mention. And interestingly, it was Rupala's statement on Rajput community, which led to a major war of words between the community. And many believe that this was the statement which led to also BJP losing a few seats as far as Uttar Pradesh and other states are concerned.
Okay. So, Prime Minister Modi, other people, they are all going to be present there. It's going to be a big fun day. But what are the biggest takeaway, Ajit? When we talk about this new cabinet, it's a cabinet which will have TDP, it's a cabinet which will have JDU, but it's a cabinet I don't think will have a very happy Ajit Pawar. What is happening on that front? I'm being told that when Prafulla Patel was offered Minister of State, he refused, because the reason why Prafulla Patel gave up the portfolio of civil aviation as a minister with independent charge, because he wanted to be a cabinet minister, and for last 1 year he went on to become Minister for Industry, which is basically a dead ministry, but he took that because he wanted to be the cabinet minister. So I think that's not, Prafulla should have been there.
Interestingly, this also shows the kind of equation right now Ajit Pawar's NCP has with the Prime Minister. The fact of the matter is that, their performance left a lot to be desired as well. And, with Prafull getting MOS independent charge, I don't think that, given the kind of combination they have with other parties, though smaller in number, but having more member of parliaments, I think this was the best which Prafull Patel, or I would say rather Ajit Pawar would have gotten.
Okay, so these are the visuals that are coming in from the President House. My God, look at the sun. I mean to say the sun, I think after 6:30, the sun will be behind the President House. So people will get some relief, because, then the shadow will
Not
fall.
before 7, Kartikeya, the way it is going on daily. It must be a surprise if it gets better by 6:30.
My God, I'm just that this is what the President House looks like. People have started to come.
Well, I mean, security scenario is there. So, whenever you go for a President House function, that, Kartikeya, that you have to arrive at least 45 minutes before. I mean, even if it is a 26th January or 15th of August function, this is a cabinet induction function, and, their massive security protocol has been thrown. So, for that, all these people who have to visit there have to be seated, 45 minutes before the commencement of the program. And that is the reason why you see people have already started arriving and filling up those seats. I think another half an hour, you would barely find a place to sit.
Okay. Gautam? I think Gautam is not with us. Jayanto is with us. Jayanto, I mean, does it remind you of the reporting days? The sweating out which used to take place? The lines?
Yes.
And the run for the court? And then the run for mobile? And then the mobile would not function because of the jammer?
Well, Kartikeya, there have been times when you are standing for what we call lives, and you saw someone picking up a mobile and there's hardly you could do. I have seen this happen twice in my reporting life. And yes, talking about the excitement that you get on the field, obviously you do not get it on the screen, as we can say. I think you will agree with me. And talking about the sun, well, it has been a warm election. So the end is also supposed to be warm. but the warmth will increase towards the end of this year because warmth or the heat, I may say the heat, because we know that there are elections likely to happen in Haryana as well as in Jharkhand, followed by the other states. So it's not that the heat is going to, with the setting of the sun, the heat is going to end. It is going to increase and perhaps continue through the winter this year, Karthikeya.
But I think it's still going to be very tough. It's very hot outside, Jayant. It's really hot outside, and I'm feeling hotter because I see Ajit sitting in McLeodganj. You know, I should have asked my guest coordinator Ronnie to next time you should not be telling me where the guests are sitting. You know, Ajit.
Intentionally timed it.
Ajit,
There are some. Yeah, I'm sitting, in under 30 degrees maximum, 26, 27. Very pleasant. I can see the Holadhar peak right from my balcony. Looks absolutely brilliant. The Himalayas, all snow-capped. What I wanted to point out that there is a strong continuity in the names in many ways. Lots of the leaders, the senior leaders at least, are the same. But there are some interesting names that have cropped for the first time. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, former Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, he is in the cabinet. I think his performance in Madhya Pradesh was absolutely miraculous. Not only the fact that the assembly election and in the Lok Sabha, the BJP has swept recently, and a great deal of it is because of Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Also, that under him, Madhya Pradesh turned out to be the #1 agricultural state in the country. Massive growth rate, double-digit growth rate of agriculture, done through simple, changes in irrigation and how water is, because Madhya Pradesh is one of the states which doesn't have enough water. So the kind of work done in minor irrigation and things of that sort. So I think that's a welcome change. And the fact that from Bihar, the son of Karpuri Thakur, he is joining. Remember, his father just received the big award from the BJP. So his son is joining as one of the ministers. Then there are some new names, of course, from Andhra Pradesh, from Bihar again because of JDU. And at the same time, lot of continuity. The dropping of names when you mentioned, like Smriti Irani, obviously she has lost the election, #1. #2, Smriti Irani's, if you look at Smriti Irani's winning of elections, I mean, out of the 4 times she has contested, she has only won once, right? She lost from Chandni Chowk, she had lost from Rahul Gandhi in 2014, against Rahul Gandhi. 2019 was the only exception. Again, she lost this time. So, obviously, the signal is that you need to perform before you get inducted in the cabinet, although she speaks very well. But, I mean, that can't be the only criteria. So, I think there are some continuities that is there. It would have been nice if there were some more additional big names, because after all, people do want newer faces to transform India in the third term that Prime Minister Modi is envisioning. But I think overall, it seems like a good cabinet right now. We have to know each of the ministers, what portfolios they are getting. But what is most important, that even though the BJP has not performed so well, neither have the NDA, but I think there is hope that in the next 5 years, India would, the Modi government would move in a new direction to, build up the economy, because generally the world is facing a recession. BJP has been, India has been doing better, at least the last 4th quarter results, if you remember, pretty high growth rate. So I think people would expect something new. I think one big change that is likely to happen with this new cabinet, the industry minister will be very important, because the push for industrialization, so that I think is very, very important. The push for industrialization. If Shivraj Singh Chauhan is perhaps given agriculture ministry, I think he would be very successful in bringing about a serious change in agriculture, which needs to be done at this stage. Remember, we've had the farmers' movement, we've had, deaths in many of the states which have done very well, like Maharashtra, lot of, deaths of peasants, farmers from there. So we need to really, someone needs to sit and redo the entire map of agriculture, something that will benefit India. We saw how agriculture performed during the Corona period. In fact, agriculture was the only sector which was helping the country. Agricultural share in the overall GDP rose from 15 to, I think, 18%. So agriculture needs a push. Industry needs a push in a serious way, but industry which can create jobs. And of course, the service sector, exports, and things of that sort. So I think it's a positive cabinet, and everyone expects the Modi government, now with the help of the two partners in Bihar and Andhra Pradesh and other smaller partners, to provide a very positive transformation in the direction of India becoming at least a serious power in Asia.
An interesting thing which I would like to add to this is that, if Shivraj Singh Chauhan becomes agriculture minister, and the kind of run-in beef with the BJP or the NDA government has with the farmers, I think he would be a very calming effect on that. Because when you talk to Shivraj Singh Chauhan, whether he agrees with what you're saying or not, but he comes across a very genial, very amiable person, and that adds to when you're having this kind of high-stake arguments and all.
Okay, Jayanto, what sort of portfolio you expect Shivraj to get? Because I don't think they are making any changes on the looks of it in the Raisena portfolios, because either you drop them or you interchange the portfolio. If you don't find them, then they're out, like Sushma, Jaitley. So you have Rajnath, Amit Shah, Nirmala right there with Jaishankar. And Jaishankar. So they're not going anywhere. And he's a dark horse, Shivraj Singh Chauhan. We should not underestimate him. Sort of a worker from the RSS stock, OBC, loyal to the party, never rebelled. He has ticked all the boxes.
Indeed, Karthika, if you see, and his persistence and his patience, what happened after the Madhya Pradesh election, many would say that he would be the next chief minister, which did not happen. But Mamaji, as he is known in Madhya Pradesh, you saw how people came to meet him. There were women who were crying that the party did wrong by not choosing him as the chief minister. But he never went against the party. Not a word he uttered publicly, at least. He did not say anything. He waited patiently till the Lok Sabha elections were held, where he was a candidate. And look at the margin he won with.
Third
I
highest.
think it is among the top.
Third highest.
Third highest, correct. Close to 8 lakh, if I am not mistaken. 820. So that proved his mettle, that he is not only popular as Mamaji, but he is also a good politician, a good organization man, and who has bounced back once again. But I agree with you. The top of Raisina Hill, the main ministries, if I can put it that way, that form the CCS, and I will also add one more, which is a few yards away from Raisina Hill, that is the railway ministry. These are the main ministry in any cabinet. So I wonder how many of these will see a major change, especially whether any ally will be given these ministries. That is yet to be seen. As far as agriculture is concerned, we saw earlier also representative from Madhya Pradesh was on the chair.
Yep.
But the way agriculture has been politicized, if I can say that, since the farm laws, the 3 farm laws that came and again was rolled back, I doubt that you will be able to really help in any way with these farmers who are still going on protesting over MSP and other things in agriculture. So let us wait and see, but I'm sure that he will get a good portfolio, obviously cabinet rank, And I'm sure that the leadership has realized that here is a man who is worth the mettle and that he will deliver, and they will obviously give him the correct position. But here, before I end, I want to add one more thing, that you cannot really predict or describe Narendra Modi and Amit Shah what they are going to do. So I would say, even
to stop you, let's go across to Ajit Pawar. Ajit Pawar is holding a press conference.
आ नहीं सका, मैं बम्बई में था, लेकिन हमारे पार्टी की तरफ से प्रफुल्ल भाई को और सुनील तटकरे साहब को भेजा था, और फिर नेक्स्ट टाइम भी सभी जो संसद मेंबर हैं जो नवनिर्वाचित होकर आए हैं उनकी एक मीटिंग थी, एनडीए के सभी नेताओं की एक मीटिंग थी। वो मीटिंग के लिए अपने सेंट्रल हॉल में वो मीटिंग हुई, आपको सबको पता है, और उसमें सब एनडीए के घटक पक्षों ने प्रधानमंत्री जी के बारे में तीसरी दफ़ा की जिम्मेवारी मोदी साहब के ऊपर दे दी, और वो कार्यक्रम हुआ। और उसके बाद आज हम ओथ सेरेमनी के लिए आए हैं। एक बात सही है कि दोपहर को मुझे पता चला कि हमारे डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर बीजेपी के जो देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी है महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट में, हमारी महायुति के डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर, तो उन्होंने एक स्टेटमेंट किया है। हमें कल रात को कांटेक्ट किया था, उससे पहले हम सब राजनाथ सिंह जी, अमित भाई और नड्डा जी, इनके साथ एक हमारी मीटिंग भी हुई। हमारे थोड़े बहुत महाराष्ट्र के जो लोकसभा के चुनाव हुए हैं, पूरे देश में हुए, लेकिन महाराष्ट्र के बारे में ये रिजल्ट ऐसा क्यों आया उसके बारे में थोड़ी बहुत चर्चा हुई। और तब मैंने उनको रिक्वेस्ट की थी कि हमारे आज लोकसभा का एक मेंबर है और राज्यसभा का एक मेंबर है, लेकिन 2-3 महीने में हमारे राज्यसभा के टोटल 3 मेंबर होने वाले हैं और लोकसभा के खुद सुनील तटकरे साहब है। ऐसा टोटल राष्ट्रवादी पार्टी की मेंबरों की सदस्य संख्या पार्लियामेंट में और पार्लियामेंट में 4 होने जा रही है, राज्यसभा और लोकसभा पकड़ के। तो हमें एक सीट मिलनी चाहिए, ऐसे हमारी बात हुई है। वो बोले ठीक है, आपका कहना सही है, लेकिन उसके बाद कल उनका हमें मैसेज आया कि हम इंडिपेंडेंट चार्ज जैसा हमारे शिंदे साहब की पार्टी को दिया है वैसा एक मेंबर लेना चाहते हैं। तो आप सभी को पता है, पूरे देश को पता है, प्रफुल्ल पटेल साहब उन्होंने कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर के नाते बहुत दफ़ा सेंट्रल में काम किया है, और कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर होते हुए फिर इंडिपेंडेंट चार्ज लेना हमें ठीक नहीं लगा। इसीलिए हमने बताया कि हम रुकने के लिए कुछ दिन के लिए तैयार है, लेकिन हमें कैबिनेट मिनिस्टरशिप चाहिए। तो ये सुनने के बाद वो बोले ठीक है, और फिर उन्होंने जो ऑफ़र की थी इंडिपेंडेंट चार्ज की वो हमने नकार दी। ऐसा जो भी कल से बात हुई उसके बारे में ये सब हुआ है, और आज अभी 7:15 को मेरे ख्याल से सबको ओथ सेरेमनी के लिए बुलाया है। इसमें हम भी जा रहे हैं एज ए एनडीए के मेंबर के नाते। तो लोकसभेचा निकाल ज्यावेळेस लागला, लोकसभेचा निकाल लागल्यानंतर
Okay, this is very important, Dr. Verma.
This is very important
Dr.
and very
Verma,
interesting.
this, we'll be talking about JP Nadda and other thing, but this is something very, very important. Ajit Pawar has dug in his heels. ही सिंह लेंगे तो कैबिनेट ही लेंगे, बाकी नहीं लेंगे।
Yes, Karthikeya, I mean, all this was extremely, expected, very much expected. And, the problem is that after the amendment to the Constitution, 93rd Amendment to the Constitution, there is an upper cap. And the upper cap says that the total strength of the Council of Ministers has to be only 15% of the strength of the Lok Sabha, which practically means 81. So 1 plus 80. So 80 seats are open for bidding. Now, if you divide that total number of NDA allies with 80, it comes to around 3.6, which basically means 3. Half seat cannot be given. So basically it means 3. So ideally, 3 MPs, they qualify for 1 berth. But, that the problem is that now you have so many allies and everybody wants a plum position and everybody wants a berth, cabinet berth. So that's not possible. That's not possible. The kind of statement that gentleman was making, I mean, you have to understand the compulsions of the Prime Minister in the making, because you see, it is not that you have to accommodate the allies. You have to factor in several, things in mind, like the coming elections you have to factor in, like the, representation of the various geographical regions you have to factor in. You have to factor in the federal compulsions. You have to factor in the caste and community combinations, because a national, when it was said by Lincoln that government, democracy is government of the people. So that of the people basically means that when it is you look at the composition of the government, you find that all castes, community, regions, religions, everything is present in there. And that's a very tough decision to take, especially when you are running an NDA government, a coalition government. So I think these things are, very much expected and were expected. It will come from other allies as well. It's not only that NCP has put in such a rider that I will wait for the cabinet position, but I will only take the cabinet position. So all these things were very much expected, not very new to the compulsions of a coalition formation. And I think the top leadership would be able to handle all these things.
Yes, sir, for a moment, can we play out the bite of Praful Patel? Let's play out the bite of Praful Patel.
देखिए बात सही है कि हमको राज्य मंत्री स्वतंत्र प्रभार के बारे में सूचना मिली, लेकिन मैं स्वयं भारत सरकार का कैबिनेट मंत्री पहले रह चुका हूं और इसलिए हमने उनको यही कहा कि भाई देखिए, ये आपने जो ऑफ़र दी है, हमें खुशी है कि आपने हमको एक सूचना भेजी, लेकिन मेरे लिए थोड़ा ये कठिन है कि हम ये पोस्ट को हम पूर्वी में मैं कैबिनेट मंत्री रहे कारण मैं नहीं स्वीकार कर सकता। इसमें कोई ऐसा मतभेद नहीं है, कोई मतलब जो भी कोई अटकलें लगाई जा रही ऐसी कोई भी बात नहीं है। सब कुशल है, सब ठीक है और हमको ये भी कहा गया है कि कुछ दिनों की आप राह देखिए, हम इसको दुरुस्त करेंगे। लेकिन आज के आज हमारे लिए भी ये संभव इसलिए नहीं है कि और पार्टीज़ के लिए भी हमने जो बात की है, निकष लगाए हैं, इंक्लूडिंग महाराष्ट्र में शिवसेना जो है, जिनके साथ एमपी चुनकर आए हैं, उनके साथ भी जो हम लोगों ने निकष लगाए, उसके हिसाब से आप प्लीज़ आज के आज इसको इंसिस्ट मत करिए।
मैं सबसे पहले तो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को उनके तीसरे कार्यकाल पर बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं और बधाई देता हूं और उनके जो सभी माननीय मंत्री बने हैं उन सबको हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं और शानदार काम वो करें, अगले 5 वर्षों में देश को आगे बढ़ाएं। जहां तक मोदी मंत्रिमंडल का और आज शपथ ग्रहण समारोह है, उसमें आज मन की बात से जुड़े हुए बहुत सारे लोग यहां पर हैं। यहां पर विकसित भारत अभियान को चलाने वाले सभी वो महानुभाव हैं, यहाँ पर नमो ऐप पर जुड़ने वाले वो महानुभाव हैं, बहुत सारे खिलाड़ी हैं जो इसमें भाग लेने आए हैं। ये सब लोग वो हैं जिन्होंने अलग अलग क्षेत्रों में बहुत नाम कमाया है, अपना काम किया है और इनकी पहचान दुनिया के सबसे लोकप्रिय नेता प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने अपने मन की बात में कभी उल्लेख किया, कभी विकसित भारत एम्बेसडर के रूप में। तो मुझे लगता है इनके लिए भी बहुत हर्ष का पल है कि ये लोग भी आज मोदी जी के मंत्रिमंडल के शपथ ग्रहण समारोह में जुड़े हैं और मेरे लिए सौभाग्य है कि मेरे निवास स्थान पर आए हैं। हम यहाँ से शपथ ग्रहण समारोह में जाएंगे और वहाँ पर शामिल होंगे।
मैं ऐसे कहना चाहती हूँ कि पूरा कायनात ने निर्णय कर लिया है, पूरा कुदरत ने निर्णय कर लिया है, प्रकृति ने निर्णय कर लिया है कि हमारे मोदी जी ही तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री बनेंगे, चाहे कितने भी विरोधी शक्ति अपना कितने भी चाल चले होंगे, लेकिन इसका कोई फायदा नरेंद्र मोदी जी पर असर नहीं पड़ेगा।
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी तीसरी बार शपथ लेने जा रहे हैं और लगातार मंत्रिमंडल में शामिल होने वाले नए मंत्रियों को फोन कॉल आने शुरू हो गए हैं। इस वक्त हम रामनाथ ठाकुर जी के घर पे हैं, जो जदयू के सांसद हैं, वरिष्ठ नेता हैं। यहाँ पर भी बधाइयाँ शुरू हो गई है, मिठाई और लड्डू यहाँ पर बांटे जा रहे हैं और खुद जो मंत्री डेजिग्नेट हैं रामनाथ ठाकुर जी, वो पत्रकारों का मुंह मीठा करा रहे हैं। आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई, बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
धन्यवाद।
आ गया है आपको, आज आप शपथ लेने जा रहे हैं, क्या कुछ कहना चाहें?
नहीं आया है, प्रधानमंत्री जी के यहाँ चाय पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष ने निमंत्रण दिया है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी के यहाँ चाय पर आप आइए।
ये लगभग यही प्रक्रिया होती है और इसी तरीके से जानकारी दी जाती है। अब आप शपथ लेने जा रहे हैं, क्या कुछ प्राथमिकताएं रहेंगी बिहार के लिए, क्या कुछ कहना
हमको जो विभाग मिलेगा उसमें देखेंगे। प्रधानमंत्री का है वो विभाग देने का विशेषाधिकार है, वो देंगे। उसमें हम कोशिश करेंगे कि बिहार को कितनी उन्नति हो सके, कितनी प्रगति हो सके और पूरे देश में।
इसी वर्ष हमने देखा था कि आपके स्वर्गीय पिताश्री को भारत रत्न से भी सम्मानित किया गया था, अब आपको केंद्रीय मंत्रिमंडल में शामिल किया जा रहा है, खुशी दुगनी हो गई?
हाँ, खुशी तो है ही, जो जिम्मेदारी पार्टी के मिली है उस पार्टी को, यही हमरे वाला अथी नालंदा।
देखिए यहाँ पर बधाइयों का जो तांता है वो लगा हुआ है। बिहार के लिए विशेष राज्य की बात भी की जा रही है, ये सारी चीजें
आज उस पर बातचीत नहीं किया जाए, आज ओथ होने के बाद उसके बाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। तो ये आपने देखा रामनाथ ठाकुर जी, जिनको चाय पर बुलावा आया है और शाम 7:30 बजे जब प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी तीसरी बार शपथ लेंगे तो बिहार कोटे से, जदयू कोटे से रामनाथ ठाकुर को भी मंत्री बनाया जाएगा।
भाजपा के जिन नेताओं को प्रधानमंत्री की ओर से फोन आया और जो इनको चाय पे बुलाया गया, उनमें गिरिराज सिंह भी शामिल हैं, पहले भी सरकार में रह चुके हैं और फिर से एक बार उनको कॉल आया। सर, बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं, अगली सरकार में भी मोदी की कैबिनेट में आपको मौका मिला है, क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
धन्यवाद देंगे, उन्होंने भरोसा किया है, इसके लिए उनको धन्यवाद देंगे।
क्या रोड मैप रहेगा? 5 साल का प्रधानमंत्री कह रहे हैं हमारा रोड मैप बिल्कुल तैयार है, जैसे ही सरकार बनती है हम कामकाज पे लग जाएंगे।
स्वाभाविक है, कोई नई सरकार नहीं है, नरेंद्र मोदी तीसरी बार हैट्रिक लगाए हैं और इतिहास रचा है। गैर कांग्रेसी सरकार तीसरी बार आई है और उसके प्रधानमंत्री हैं और विकसित राष्ट्र बनाना संकल्प है, उस संकल्प को पूरा करना।
राहुल गांधी ने इस बार कहा है कि इस बार संख्या क्योंकि अपोजिशन की बढ़ गई है तो हमारे जो तेवर हैं वो संसद में दिखेंगे।
जनता में तो तेवर देख लिया, अब सदन में भी देखेंगे। जनता ने नकार दिया उनके तेवर को, अब सदन में देखेंगे उनका तेवर क्या होता है।
ये आपने कहा कि तीसरी बार लगातार सरकार बनी है, जो 2014 और 19 में सरकार ने काम किया उसी कामकाज को आगे बढ़ाया जाएगा या इस बार कुछ ऐसा देखने को मिलेगा, क्योंकि प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा ये जो 5 साल हैं इसमें हम और ज्यादा बड़े फैसले लेंगे?
हर बार बेहतर राष्ट्र बनाने की जो संकल्पना है उसको आगे बढ़ाते रहें, आगे भी बढ़ाते रहें।
चलिए, आपको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। तो ये थे गिरिराज सिंह, नई सरकार में फिर से एक बार मंत्री के पद पे तैनात होंगे। क्या पोर्टफोलियो मिलेगा वो अभी तय होना है, लेकिन जिन लोगों को चाय पे बुलाया गया, जिनसे मुलाकात हुई, उसमें एक नाम गिरिराज सिंह का भी शामिल है।
हमारे साथ रामदास अठावले जी हैं जो मंत्री बनने जा रहे हैं, फोन आ गया है। सर, क्या कहेंगे? तीसरी बार मोदी सरकार बन रही है और तीसरी बार आप शपथ लेने जा रहे हैं।
तो मुझे बहुत बड़ा आनंद है कि माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने उनके मंत्रिमंडल में तीसरी बार मुझे मौका दिया है। मेरी पार्टी रिपब्लिकन पार्टी ऑफ इंडिया है, बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर जी की पार्टी है और इस पार्टी ने लगातार 10 सालों से मोदी जी का समर्थन दे दिया है। तो दलित जनता को बीजेपी के साथ लाने का काम हमने किया है, तो इसीलिए माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी को मालूम था और महाराष्ट्र में आने वाला विधानसभा का चुनाव भी है, तो उसको भी नजरअंदाज रखते हुए महाराष्ट्र में अपनी सत्ता आनी चाहिए, महायुति की सत्ता आनी चाहिए, इंडिया की सत्ता आनी चाहिए। इसीलिए उन्होंने मुझे मौका दिया और मैंने लगातार 8 सालों में मैंने मोदी जी का जो समर्थन किया था, मोदी जी ने जो डेवलपमेंट का काम किया है वो लोगों के सामने रखा था। और संविधान बदलेगा ये जो गलत प्रचार है उसको भी हमने दलित समाज में जाकर उनको समझाया था। तो कुछ गलत फहमी जरूर हुई थी, लेकिन दलित वोट भी मतलब इंडिया को मिला है, बीजेपी को मिला है। और मुझे आनंद है, मेरे समाज को आनंद है कि मोदी साहब ने मुझे तीसरी बार मौका दे दिया है।
पिछली बार सामाजिक न्याय मंत्रालय में थे आप, इस बार कोई मंत्रालय की चॉइस है आपकी या आपको लगता है कि उसी को कंटिन्यू करना चाहिए?
मुझे लगता है कि जो भी मंत्रालय दे देंगे वो मैं संभालूंगा। मतलब मुझे अनुभव है काम करने का गरीबों का, तो इसीलिए मुझे जो भी मंत्रालय दिया जाएगा वो मंत्रालय का मैं काम करता रहूंगा।
रवनीत बिट्टू कांग्रेस से बीजेपी में आए, हालांकि लोकसभा चुनाव हार गए, लेकिन उनको मंत्री बनाया जा रहा है मोदी की तीसरी सरकार में। हमारे साथ बात करने के लिए खुद बिट्टू साहब मौजूद हैं। बिट्टू जी, पीएम मोदी ने आप पर भरोसा जताया जबकि जनता ने आपको हरा दिया।
देखो, बिल्कुल बीजेपी, क्योंकि पंजाब में एक ऐसी स्थिति थी जिसमें हम इलेक्शनें लड़े, लेकिन तब भी ये प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब और अमित शाह जी और नड्डा साहब के बहुत आभारी हैं भी, उन्होंने फिर भी पंजाब को आगे रखा, पार्टी को आगे नहीं रखा, पंजाब को आगे रखा भी पंजाब का कैसे हिस्सेदारी पंजाब की हो, और वो आज प्रूव कर दी उन्होंने भी कितना प्यार और कितना स्नेह पंजाब के साथ है।
कई बार आप सांसद रहे लेकिन मंत्री नहीं बन पाए, और इस बार आप सांसद ही हार गए, मंत्री बनने जा रहे हैं, ये एक अलग संयोग है।
ये मेरा पहले दिन से ये मन था भी मैं चौथी बार एमपी कांग्रेस में बन के विपक्ष में नहीं बैठना चाहता। मेरा मन है भी पंजाब के लिए कुछ कैसे करें, क्योंकि पता था बीजेपी सरकार बनेगी। वो जो सपना था वो मेरा सच हो गया।
क्या प्रायोरिटीज रहेंगी आपकी पंजाब के लिए?
देखो, अब बीजेपी ने और सेंटर में उन्होंने अपना काम कर दिया। अब हमारा काम है, मेरा काम है किस तरीके से पंजाबियों को, किसानों को, मजदूरों को, इंडस्ट्री को, उसको कैसे ब्रिज बना के सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से जोड़ना है और पंजाब को दोबारा कर्जा मुक्त करना है, नशा मुक्त करना है।
आपका परिवार आपके साथ है, मिठाइयाँ बट रही है, बड़ी खुशी की बात है। तो बेटा है आपका, वाइफ है, इनकी क्या भूमिका रहेगी?
देखो, ये सारे, ये मेरे बहन हैं, ये मेरे छोटे ब्रदर की वाइफ हैं, ये मेरे वाइफ और दोनों बहन की बेटी और ये बच्चे हैं। ये बहुत, क्योंकि इलेक्शनों में साथ थे और बहुत निमोश हो गए। बच्चों को अब कैसे समझाओ भी स्थितियाँ कहाँ क्या क्या थी पंजाब में, गांव में हमें नहीं जाने दिया। आज इनको दोबारा, इनके चेहरों पे आज मैं मुस्कुराहट देख रहा हूँ, खुशी देख रहा हूँ। तो मेरे लिए मोदी जी, बीजेपी और उसके मेरा परिवार को जो आज खुशी दी है, मेरी माँ को आज जो खुशी दी है, मैं इसके लिए भी बीजेपी लीडरशिप का और प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब का और अमित शाह जी का, नड्डा जी का बहुत आभार प्रकट करता हूँ। मेरे मन में शब्द नहीं है। हारने के बाद भी मुझे उन्होंने मिनिस्ट्री दे दी और मेरा परिवार आज दोबारा जो मैं समझ रहा हूँ उनके चेहरों पे खुशी है, मैं पढ़ पा रहा हूँ, एहसास कर पा रहा हूँ।
टीडीपी के सांसद राम मोहन नायडू हमारे साथ हैं, जो कि आज कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर की शपथ लेने हैं। सर, सबसे पहले क्या रिएक्शन, एक कॉल आ गई आपके पास?
बहुत खुशी की बात है। इतने कम उम्र में हमने सोचा नहीं था कि ये मिलेगा। तीसरी बार हम एमपी के जीत के आने के बाद हमें लगा वही बहुत बड़ा ये मौका है यहाँ पे लोगों के लिए सर्व करने के लिए, पर आज उससे प्रमोशन मिला है मंत्री पद में बैठने का। तो मैं दे दिल से भारत की जनता को, हमारे श्रीकाकुलम की जनता जिन्होंने जिताई, हमारे तेलुगु लोगों को, हमारे नेता चंद्रबाबू जी को, नरेंद्र मोदी जी को, जनसेना के नेता पवन कल्याण, सबको मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा।
प्रधानमंत्री से मिलने कब जा रहे हैं?
अभी जा रहे हैं 11:30 बजे उनके वहाँ पे।
कौन सा प्राथमिकताएं क्या होंगी, क्या प्रेफर करेंगे आप?
पोर्टफोलियो का तो कोई स्पेसिफिक ऐसा नहीं है। अगर सोच की बात आती है तो जरूर आंध्र के लिए जो बेनिफिट रहेगा और हमारे जो कंट्रीब्यूशन देश के लिए जो रह सकता है, कोई भी पोर्टफोलियो चैलेंज के साथ लेकर हम काम करेंगे।
आंध्र के लिए क्या प्रायोरिटीज तय की हैं आपने? अगर सबसे पहले अगर आपको मंत्री पद मिलता है, क्या करना चाहेंगे, किस फील्ड में काम?
जिस तरह से 5 साल पुराने सरकार ने काम किया है, हमें तो लगता है कि हर डिपार्टमेंट ही हमें जरूरत है। तो ये सिर्फ क्या मंत्री हमें मिलने वाला ऐसा नहीं है कि एनडीए में होने के बाद हम सारे मंत्रियों का मदद हम लेना चाहेंगे, उसमें से हमें जो कुछ भी मिलेगा तो उसको पूरी तरह से।
कैपिटल सिटी अमरावती एक बड़ा मुद्दा रहा है, इस बार लगता है कि वो कंप्लीट हो?
हाँ जी, जरूर कंप्लीट करना चाहिए, क्योंकि उसी के वजह से हमें अच्छा मैंडेट मिला है। पोलवरम नेशनल प्रोजेक्ट है, उसको कंप्लीट करना चाहिए, रेलवे जोन मिलना चाहिए, और ऐसे बहुत सारे हैं डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स को लेकर। तो सबको न्याय करने के लिए हम कोशिश करें।
स्पेशल पैकेज इज आल्सो द रिक्वायरमेंट।
डेफिनेटली एड इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर आंध्र प्रदेश, तो उसके ऊपर भी हम मांग को आगे रखेंगे और हमें विश्वास है कि मोदी जी हमारे साथ रहेंगे।
Okay, I was having a conversation with Dr. Verma. Do you think that it's a problem in Maharashtra with Ajit Pawar sulking?
Of course, and the reason why while I completely agree with what Dr. Verma is saying, that you cannot satisfy every single party, or you cannot treat them on an equal basis. But one thing is also there which makes this omission a bit jarring. That is, assembly elections are going to be held in another 2 to 3 months, 3 to 4 months max. And given the kind of situation which BJP, NCP and Shiv Sena combined are as far as the state of Maharashtra is concerned, I think it is too important a state, and elections are too close for the BJP to give NCP a miss. I think some sort of course correction could have been done, but I think what forced the BJP hand is that they have given MOS, independent ministry, to Eknath Shinde group, and there was no way they were going to give a cabinet minister berth to NCP, which has far lesser number of member of parliaments. But this definitely doesn't. It's a bit of a jarring, because right now BJP's main focus would be, even if you go by the composition of the cabinet, should be Maharashtra and no other state.
Okay, Dr. Verma, do you agree with Brijesh that it's not sending the right signal, they're waiting out, or it's just a small irritation?
No, Kartikeya, you see, I mean, it's for us to see all these things. But what I think that Prime Minister Modi is going in the third inning with a broader agenda and a vision. If you specifically focus on Maharashtra, I could see that Maharashtra had, a problem of, ideology and a problem of succession. These two were fundamental problems. So ideologically, what you see that is still the Hindutva plank, by and large, if you combine even Uddhav's party, you find that the ideology is still intact in Maharashtra. Whereas on the lineage thing, you can very well see that who is the real claimant. I mean, Uddhav is the people have declared Uddhav as the real lineage of Balasaheb Thackeray, and of course, Sharad Pawar happens to be, his party happens to be the real, representative of the that group. So the people have given their mandate. But having said that, what I want to say that this election and the result should not be taken as something which is very alarming. And the BJP can, of course, they have the reduced number, but that reduction in the number doesn't mean that you are corner and then you should be taking that position permanently, and you should be open to all the pressure tactics, etc. As you rightly said, if one faction of the NCP is getting MOS, and you see, Minister of State is a very important position. If you go to the Constitution and look, I mean, Minister of State is never mentioned in the Constitution, but if you go to the third schedule where all the lists are there, even there you don't find that MOS, but MOS, there is no separate, oath for them. It's only a minister, and therefore these are all administrative divisions. Hierarchically, there is a cabinet, then there is Minister of State, and then there is Deputy Minister. But when the Minister of State is given an independent charge, so functionally there is nobody above him, no one bossing over him except the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister is the boss for each and every cabinet minister also. So administratively and politically, I don't see that a Minister of State, only that I had been a cabinet minister and I cannot settle with a less than that a cabinet minister. I think this kind of rigidity probably should not be, may not be probably accommodated in this coalition government, where you have to accommodate so many people. Like you can see that people having 1 seat, 2 seats, they are also being accommodated. So this is gestures that the Modi government is showing towards the allies, and I think that the allies should also reciprocate and should not be so rigid about the past.
Okay.
Kartik.
Okay. So this rigidity will not be accommodated. Jayanto, will this rigidity be accommodated? And let us play out the visuals from Rashtrapati Bhavan. Please, let's have the feed there. Let people have a look. Let them understand that the Rashtrapati Bhavan is getting decked up. This is the direct feed which is coming from the President's house. This is what it's going to look like, filled up in next 1 hour. And the big show is going to start. Let the heat come down. Jayanto.
when we are talking about coalition alliance, I was thinking about the NDA one, predecessor of Narendra Modi, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. You would very well remember that time Vajpayee had called it the coalition Dharma. He had, if I remember correctly, it was he who started this word about it being a Dharma. And I think it was in July 2000 that an angry Mamata, who was also a cabinet minister, stormed out. She complained against that time the NDA government that it was planning to close down the Sikh PSUs in West Bengal. And without any other, the way she used to behave or behaves now also, without any word to anyone, she went away home. And on, if I remember correctly, it was the early July of 2000, perhaps it was 6th July, sometimes in the late afternoon, Vajpayee ji himself landed up at Mamata's house. He had a long conversation with her mother where she spoke very highly of Mamata and then complained about her attitude, her temper, and this storming out in protest. And we saw that she returned. She rejoined the NDA and continued till 2001 when she quit to go hold the hand of Congress and fight elections in West Bengal Assembly. So it is time, this is what is being talked about right now also, Kartikeya, that whether or not Narendra Modi will be able to take all the allies together and go ahead together. I totally agree when you were discussing that perhaps it's a bit of too much being asked by the alliance at this point of time. But at the same time, there is a kind of a rank that is within the cabinet. We are all aware of it. And that is where this kind of a direct conversation, this type of an approach may come handy. Like the one I'm talking about way back in 2000. Now, this is going to come. This will happen. You saw that right now when your reporter was talking to Mr. Ramnath Thakur, he did not speak really about the special status to Bihar. But indirectly, when he was speaking to Ram Mohan Naidu, who's the son of Yaren Naidu, used to be a very powerful MP once upon a time when TDP was with the NDA one. So he mentioned about special help or special package, I forgot the exact word, to Andhra Pradesh. Now, these things, this is the beginning. This is just about the distribution of portfolios, about induction of ministers in the cabinet. But later, the policies will also come forward, wherein all these parties who are in alliance with the BJP in the NDA, they have to attend to their own regional requirements, their own the voters. So these things are going to come up, and it is to be seen how the bigger party, that is the BJP and its leaders, addresses these issues.
Okay. Ajit, there is also another aspect. That aspect is who is going to replace JP Nadda. Right now, most senior leaders are in the party. Amit Shah is in the party. Shivraj Singh Chauhan is in the party. Today, if you ask me, I'll really scratch my head and say, who's going to, replace JP Nadda? Really?
It's a tough question to answer because you're right. Almost all the senior leaders of the BJP has already, I mean, we can see their names in the cabinet list. I mean, if Shivraj Singh Chauhan's name was not there, I would have speculated him because he's a person, who's very sweet, who can talk to various players. Whenever there's a crisis, he can handle it. I cannot think of anyone. I'm just wondering, all junior for it, but someone like, Anurag Thakur, his name is not there. I don't know if he'll be considered for an organizational post like the party president. He's obviously too junior, but he's considered very dynamic. His performance in sports minister was supposed to be pretty good. As a minister of state for finance at one time, I don't think he quite did the right work. He wasn't qualified as a technical economist would be, but I think the sports ministry job was pretty good. So I don't know, but I only think he's too young for the position. But in BJP, you never know So it's going to be a tough call who will be the next BJP party president. However, let me get back to the cabinet itself. See, one of the problems of cabinet formation, and this has been discussed at length by American political scientists, British political scientists, is that the fact you have to make a compromise between quality, merit on the one side, and representation of various communities on the other side, because politics is a lot more about representation, perhaps doesn't function so well when it comes to quality. We people in the urban areas, the middle class, we expect, top performers. But when you're running a government, what is more important? You need to win the next election, and you have to ensure all communities are represented. Now have a look at the representation from Bihar. You have, two important, what I would call Dalit leaders, right? Jitan Ram Majhi's name is there, although his party HAM has just one sort of MP. Chirag Paswan, of course, Chirag Paswan's performance has been extraordinary this time. 100% strike rate. He was given 5 seats and he has won all 5. And Chirag Paswan is young and, charismatic. He is, of course, son of Rambilas Paswan. But, two scheduled caste leaders right from Bihar. Now, one reason for that, obviously, is that the BJP is afraid if any one of them would jump on the other side, remember, right before the elections, they were all wooed by Tejaswi Yadav and others. So we are heading for a Bihar Assembly election next year in 2025. So you don't want to give any leverage to the opposition. So that's one reason. The other reason is, if you analyze where the BJP did badly, let's say in Uttar Pradesh especially, and why, one of the main reasons was the fact that the scheduled caste vote, the Dalit vote of the BJP in the past kind of moved away, along with Mayawati's vote towards the Samajwadi Party, led by Akhilesh Yadav. So that is a serious challenge, to bring back the Dalits into the BJP fold, into the NDA fold. So therefore you see a bigger representation of various communities you will find. And because Bihar is one state where there are lots of smaller communities have their own leader now, smaller communities have their own, parties. Like as I said, in the case of Dalits, you have 2 important parties and you see representation from both. So this is one serious problem that you have when you form a sort of government and you have a cabinet as well as the ministers of state. So each and every state you have to accommodate, like Jayant Chaudhary. Again, not too many MPs from his party, but because the RLD is in a way seen as a Jat sort of bastion, and Jayant Chaudhary himself, after all, grandson of Charan Singh, son of Ajit Singh. He's also he's a very articulate man, both in English and Hindi, understands agriculture very well. So someone like him, again, very few seats, but gets a position in the cabinet. So similarly, smaller players you find sometimes, they are pivotal, right? They can jump on the other side, so they have to be accommodated. Anupriya Patel, again, she has always been accommodated. She has been very loyal to BJP, and she has always managed to win those few seats that she is given. So that is very important. The balance between merit and representation to various communities, various caste groups in the cabinet itself.
Dr. Verma, there was no story of divergence in the cabinet. The story of the divergence in cabinet only came during UPA. For 10 years, you had a story on the cabinet decisions. I think for the first time, you might end up stories about divergence in the cabinet. So, how do you think that, the older dispensation of Bharatiya Janata Party is going to deal with it?
I do not know how they will actually land up in what situation they are and how they are going to handle the situation. But Karthikeyan, let me assure you that what I can see from this Modi 3 and the way I could see the body languages and the, commitments of leaders of various, components one after the other, I think a new coalition culture I can sense, and in this new coalition culture, one thing is very sure, that the big brother has to do a lot of sacrifices, and the big brother has certain sacrifices which they will have to sell to their own people, the members of the Bharatiya Janata Party, because there is a larger agenda, and Modi is so emotionally connected to that larger agenda that unless you put this kind of a conglomerate and bind them with a kind of a political favicol, it would not be possible to achieve your agenda that you have set for yourself. So this kind of a divergence may not have been there earlier, but now since you say sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka prayas, sabka vishwas, so if this is not to be simply a phrase or a jumla as people call it, and it has to be a reality, a political reality, then of course lot of accommodations they have to be made, even at your own cost, and those costs are not much. If you have to be in power for next 5-10 years, if you have to take your country forward, if you have to take your country to the $5 trillion economy and make it a third largest economy of the world, and be a developed country and acquire the position of global leadership, which we are already sensing a little bit. So the contours are very large, and the ambitions are very high. And if Modi is really dedicated to all those commitments, I think the greatest sacrifice will have to be made by the Bharatiya Janata Party. So the entire flux, also there is a message to all the components of this NDA 3, that look, this larger big brother is making a lot of sacrifices just to accommodate us, so that we also find in line with the larger agenda of this Modi 3 government. So I think that the BJP may not have been earlier able to accommodate so many diversities, but I'm pretty sure that what I could sense and my hunch is that they will certainly go for a lot of sacrifices, and especially the issue that you raised, the issue of organizational leadership, that is going to be a bigger challenge for the BJP right now. Looking forward at the fact that every election, 24, you have right now Haryana and Maharashtra, then you have Bihar and Jharkhand and so many other, and up to 28, and in 2028 you have election to 10 state assemblies. So the agenda is not only just to form the government and be in power, the agenda is very wide and large, and up to the next parliamentary election 2019. And therefore, I very well, I'm convinced that the government and probably the leadership at the top will be able to accommodate all those diversities. Karthikeyan?
I think Brijesh, Jitan Ram Manjhi is there, the first person?
Yeah, Jitan Ram Manjhi is sitting on the chair. You see External Affairs Minister, former External Affairs Minister being there. He's waiting for, I think, other cabinet colleagues to come before he walks up to the dais. But Jitan Ram Manjhi is the sole one who's sitting on the chair. There, I think this also means that when S. Jaishankar is there, Jitan Ram Manjhi is there. So I think another 15-20 minutes we see many people who are supposed to be sworn in along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They all will be there in another 15-20 minutes max. Most of these dignitaries would also be arriving in another half an hour's time. And this is Jitan Ram Manjhi sitting there talking to one of his aides. And it'll be very interesting to see the composition is interesting. It's also going to be very interesting to see whether the roles are changed or not. I personally believe that the top four might see a continuity. No change of portfolio per se vis-a-vis Nirmala Sitharaman or say Amit Shah or Rajnath Singh and S. Jaishankar. So I think those four are should be, to the best of my understanding, should be seen in continuity. Because they will also represent a continuity in the policy and the policy sphere of Indian government. But yes, I think railways, IT, agriculture, rural development. I think these are the ministries in which we might see opposition. The NDA allies might be getting some sort of say or getting those ministries as well.
But Jayanto, the whole idea of doing it in public is to take the swearing in out of the Darbar Hall, and to make it more public oriented nature. First time I was there in 2014, the mahal was really different. I don't know how it's going to be like, but obviously the cadre will be happy that the power has been retained, for next 5 years. It's a government, it's a government with party in power for 15 years, and it's not a joke, It's a tough thing to do. But then I think there are challenges which faces BJP. Yes, there's Maharashtra, there is Jharkhand, there's Haryana.
I think Maharashtra will pose them the biggest challenge.
Jayanto, is Maharashtra going to be the biggest challenge or Haryana?
The way things are going, I think Maharashtra, given the number of seats there are and the importance it has in the country, obviously it will be the first on the list. And then, of course, Haryana, we will have to wait and see where elections are due sometimes later. Now, if you see the other way around, Kartikeya, the kind of mandate that has come from Orissa, that is something that the BJP would be happy about. After 24 years, but still, Naveen Babu was quite comfortable as the chief minister. Even when we were discussing, we were not so sure about the assembly results, and it has happened. But talking about Orissa and talking about the swearing in today, what I find is interesting, Kartikeya, I believe that both Vijayant Panda and Aparajita Sarangi, Vijayant Panda because he has really crushed a very strong citadel of the BJD, which incidentally never fell to anyone apart from the erstwhile Janata Party and then the BJD. And Aparajita Sarangi, of course, a former IAS officer from Bhubaneswar. Now that if these two names are there on the list, then it seems like there is a strong indication that Dharmendra Pradhan, whose name I believe was not there when they went for that tea event with the Prime Minister this morning, may be the next Chief Minister's face.
No, Dharmendra Pradhan is there. Let me tell you, Dharmendra Pradhan is part of the list. Dharmendra Pradhan was sitting there. Yes, Dharmendra Pradhan. So which means that there's going to be a surprise in Orissa.
So which means it will be a surprise, yes.
Yeah, it means that it's going to be a surprise. And we'll have a BJP president as a surprise. So there will be two surprises. The president of Bharatiya...
I think, Ajit was talking about Anurag Thakur. I think the biggest challenge right now for the party leadership will be to come up with a name which also exudes the kind of authority. The BJP and others, lampoon Congress party and all. But I think JP Nadda also didn't have the requisite authority. It was everybody knew who was taking the decision. It happens, whenever either you have a too powerful person as the boss or you have a family-run enterprise like the Congress party. So JP Nadda was also never exuded the kind of authority. He was like, with a hand on a heart kind of a situation. He was never the number 3 most powerful person in the entire BJP government combined. So it'll be extremely interesting to see who gets the nod. Will they go for the caste calculus, somebody from the OBC community or a Dalit community getting to don the mantle of BJP presidentship would also be extremely interesting. Because stature wise, you'll be really hard pressed to see who gets to become the next BJP chief. There was also talk of Manohar Lal Khattar as the next party chief. Khattar has made it to the Modi cabinet. But even if he was elevated to the post of a BJP party president, he also didn't have the required bandwidth or the authority to deal or make decision on his own. So it'll be very, very interesting to see who gets it. Is it going to be like Nadda, another extension of what the top two wants?
Dr. Verma, Anurag Thakur's dropping is a big surprise, I didn't expect that the gentleman would be dropped.
Have some surprises. Wait for some few more hours, and probably you will have surprises regarding the allocation of portfolio because of the compulsions of the coalition. I'm also really very much keen to. I'm also very much keen to see whom the BJP has in mind so far as the presidency is concerned. And given the heavy agenda that they have until 2000, because there is delimitation, there is increase in the number of MPs in the parliament, there is 1/3 women reservation, and all those very complex things which normally an ordinary person, a person of ordinary caliber, less than the caliber of Amit Shah probably, I think very difficult to find out if, but the BJP is, a big party and they have, a lot of people inside. They might pick up some hidden person, we do not know probably, but in the optics of Indian politics, I fail to identify any other person except him, the present Home Minister, who can handle the coming so many elections and also, do a course correction in Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh happens to be a very important, state where the BJP has done so badly. And whatever may be the reasons, they have to be investigated by the parties. But as a student of the subject, we very well understand the social dynamics, because what the Modi government has been doing for the last 10 years, he has been trying to undo the lens of caste calculus and trying to superimpose a class, orientation on that entire caste calculus has been completely undone in this UP election. And most of the major caste, the OBCs, more backward and most backwards, and the Dalits who had switched over to BJP, they have gone back again, away from the BJP. And this is a great setback. Otherwise, things were not so bad in UP. People were very happy, everything. I mean, one thing I would like to certainly inform you that the people who have gone away from the BJP in this particular election, they had the best deals. Socially, they were protected because of the strong administration of the chief minister, law and order situation. Socially, everybody felt protected. Politically, they were absolutely accommodated in the power structure. All these people given due share in accordance with the proportion to their population in the leadership structure, and financially also they were getting a lot of things through the DBTs and hundreds of other central government, state government schemes. So I do not see any reason, political, social, or economic, which could have taken them away from the BJP, except because of the fact that this 400 par Nara, the BJP could never explain why they wanted 400 par, and the Akhilesh and the Rahul duo, he capitalized on this Nara and said that they just want 400 par because they want to demolish the constitution and abolish the reservation. So to my mind, is still this narrative, and you might have seen in the parliament that the first thing which the Modi did at the time of being elected as the leader of the NDA was to go down to the constitution and demonstrate optics to the entire nation that here is a prime minister who so much loves and so much respects the constitution, and therefore nobody has to worry about anything about the demolition of the constitution and consequential abolition of the reservation. So when the damage had been done, how it will be course corrected, it is for the party to take it on.
One interesting thing also is, Karthikeya, that as Dr. Verma was saying, that that 400 par Nara boomerang, and what exacerbated the situation for the BJP was the loose statement which was given by several BJP MPs and also Rajasthan Chief Minister, that if we get the 400, we may change the constitution.
He also made a very
and that point. Literally like playing it in the hand
He also made a very interesting point. The beneficiaries, the best beneficiaries went away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you say the beneficiaries went
I think
away,
there's also a political storm brewing in.
It means that the benefit scheme does not address the core concern which the quota addresses, which is job indignity.
Absolutely.
Ajit, I think that's a very...
but there's also one line which I would add before you go to Ajit, that there's also a political storm brewing. For the first time after 10 years of absolute hegemony, we have seen now, it's the narrative which is being built. I'm not saying that it's 100% true, but it is 100%. It's not like it is not there at all. This talk about Yogi Adityanath, the UP Chief Minister, and Amit Shah, and the way, the entire social media is flooded with how, Yogi's list was struck down by Amit Shah, and how, Yogi has always been, kind of shown his place by the too. This has also not gone down well, and this is one of the most emerging narrative as far as social media is concerned. You may dismiss it, you may say that there may be no truth and all, but the kind of reaction is coming in from people who are or people who follow or hope that Yogi Adityanath will be the successor to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and be the next big thing. I mean, the kind of discourse it is there was something which I have personally not seen in the last 10 years. Nobody would open his mouth and and the kind of disparaging remark Ayodhya, the city per se, is receiving is literally mind-boggling. I mean, it's very hard to imagine that this is the same place, which the entire BJP pantheon was saying that, jo Ram ko laya hai, hum usko layenge, to this level where, people on social media burning or the name of Ayodhya and the kind of, language which is being used. It is simply unbelievable.
Ajit, there are two things here. The one is, which Dr. Verma said, the people who benefited from it actually went away. Why did that happen? That's the question number one. But I think the second part is also very, very important. If you analyze the verdict in a broad spectrum, BJP's winning margins are also down in number of areas. The margins have also come down, Ajit.
See, one of the problems with Dalits are that in large parts of North India, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, possibly in the rest of the country, even today, they are not allowed inside the mandir. They are prevented from entering the mandir. I have seen that, in several cases in Bihar or even in UP. So, what happens is when you overplay the Ram Mandir card, the Dalits feel alienated. Because if they are not identified with the Ram Mandir, if they are not even allowed in their, in the same place of worship, then if you just overplay it, there is a reaction, okay? So yes, in many ways you are right. They were the beneficiaries. But for them, the bigger institution is the constitution, which Baba Saheb Ambedkar shaped for them, which ensured that they get reservation. And when the whole narrative was built by Rahul Gandhi, the Congress and the India Alliance, that there was an attempt to come with big numbers, 400 par, and then change the constitution, take away the reservations, the scheduled caste, the most backward caste, the extremely backward caste kind of turned the other way. Even if they were in the BJP, they kind of moved away. They felt the pressure. So that, I think, was one of the reasons that we saw BJP losing big numbers in UP, losing the huge majorities with which they had won in 2019. We saw a similar thing happening in another state where Dalit politics is very strong, Maharashtra. It also backfired to some extent in Rajasthan. Of course, there were other issues. There were other issues like that the Kshatriyas were very unhappy, and that again affected Uttar Pradesh. It affected, it did not affect Gujarat, although in Gujarat, you had this calm strategy being planned by Congress. They only managed to win one seat, but it affected neighboring Rajasthan and, other states. Now, even as Brijesh was speaking, I thought maybe an excellent precedent from the BJP's point of view would be Yogi Adityanath. If they can remove Yogi Adityanath from Uttar Pradesh and have someone else come there, someone equally suitable. After all, UP this time in the Lok Sabha hasn't performed very well. Some would consider it, a sort of drop for Yogi Adityanath, a demotion. But I think he would perhaps, with his energy levels, The fact that he just jet sets around the entire state, we have seen him campaigning. He might bring a new sort of spirit into the BJP. The other person I thought of, again, both in this case happens to be upper caste, and the compulsion is perhaps to bring a scheduled caste or a OBC national president. But the other person would be Devendra Fadnavis. He's unhappy with his performance in Maharashtra, but Fadnavis has been a former chief minister, young, bright, articulate, works very hard. So, and these names are not there in the cabinet list. This could be potential BJP presidents, but I guess there might be a pressure to bring in a scheduled caste leader as the BJP president, or for that matter, a most backward caste or extremely backward caste leader from the BJP.
There is one person who we have seen in the video, and he's Shivraj Singh Chauhan. He's smiling the maximum. Jayanto, what sort of future does Shivraj Singh Chauhan has?
Now that he has been rehabilitated in the cabinet, yes, I think he would be given a proper post. I do not know whether it will be on the Raisina Hill or thereabouts, or it can be Agriculture Ministry, but we'll have to wait and see. But one thing is certain, that given the situation that the farmers' agitation has taken, he may be the perfect person to ruffle, kind of smoothen the ruffled feathers of this farmers, a section of the farmer unions who are still protesting. So that is one possible area where he can be accommodated. Regarding the smile, Kartikeya, this is his time. I think he has the right to smile the most because he has been, as I said earlier, he has been persistent, he has been patient, and he has proven himself that he is the man for all seasons. And that is why we see even in this heat the beaming face that you see. Now, in fact, I agree. Someone was mentioning just now that had he not been on the list of probable cabinet ministers, he could perhaps be thought to be considered as the president of the party. Because if you look at it that way, here is a person who is perhaps very, I will not say most suitable, but among the best persons who could perhaps fit in that particular chair. But since he has been accommodated in the cabinet, then perhaps they have a better name, or in a way that they think is a better name, who will come to that chair. But here, Kartikeya, as I told you earlier, that what Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah will do, it is very difficult to predict or define. So we will have to wait for some time before the official list is out, naming the portfolios that these ministers will get after their oath.
It's like he's the suitable boy.
He is the suitable boy, always.
And then, one thing, if I may add to what Jayanto was saying, that, when you said that why is he smiling, Kartikeya has been a very successful Madhya Pradesh chief minister. And, his removal is still shrouded in mystery. Why Shivraj Singh Chauhan was removed from there, and nobody has been able to give a proper explanation. And the fact is that he was removed, people, wrote him off. Was given a ticket, you remember him traveling all across the Madhya Pradesh, and people felt that he has kind of, fallen through the cracks. But, when he got the ticket, he campaigned hard, and look at the fact that, now he has won this 24 Lok Sabha election with 8,20,000 vote margin, the third biggest, highest margin in the country. I think, Shivraj Singh Chauhan has proven everything. And the fact of the matter is that BJP being 30 odd seats short of majority must have also figured in his mind, in that particular smile.
Dr. Verma, your comments on Shivraj?
I would like to first make a comment and counter to what Ajit was saying. Because in respect of Dalits and their entry in Mandir, I beg to disagree with him. And especially I can speak for UP, if not of other states. There is no such thing as the prohibiting Dalits. He might have seen a few years back, I do not know. But at the moment saying that Dalits are not allowed to enter the temple, it is absolutely a wrong narrative right now. It is absolutely unthinkable at this point of time that Dalit is not allowed. That's absolutely unacceptable narrative right now. So that is one thing I wanted to counter. And the second thing is that you see, number one is Shivraj has very long innings in Madhya Pradesh, and it was probably his Ladli Behna scheme that got him, the kind of mandate that the government got in assembly elections. But notwithstanding that, I must say that I have not seen a chief minister so humble, even after repeated, tenures as the chief minister. I think he had probably 4 or 5 terms. And still, I have seen him very calm, cool, smiling. So you were saying why he is smiling. That's his nature. I have never seen him agitated or excited so much. And he's an enthusiastic worker, a workaholic, in fact, and keeps everybody in good humor. And also, he has a very good rapport with the people. So, of all the chief ministers, there are very few like Shivraj Chauhan. And his removal was very genuine, actually. It was genuine because there was some kind of fatigue in the people and also in the, bureaucracy. And therefore, sometimes if you make moves and do some kind of a change, then that enthuses the party, that enthuses the people, enthuses the cadre. And Shivraj is such a stuff that he not thinks for himself, he thinks for the party.
But Dr. Verma,
for him, the party is a very great dedication. And governance is a very great dedication. And that's why you should not take it as a punishment, his removal. There, Modi must have factored in this thing that after such a huge victory in Madhya Pradesh, why he should be asked to step down. And
but Dr. Verma, Brijesh this side. I just wanted to understand, if there was a fatigue, he brought back one of the most spectacular Madhya Pradesh performance right there. And there were absolutely no reason for him to be replaced with somebody else, who's the first time or the second time MLA. And to get him from there to become a member of parliament or to become, say, a cabinet minister, how does this change things? Because nobody has still now come up with an explanation as to why was Shivraj Singh Chauhan removed. He is giving you performance, he is giving you results.
That's what I'm saying, that performance giving doesn't mean that you have a perpetual claim on the chair.
No, but you remove somebody because why fix a thing which is not broken, Mr. Verma?
That is shrouded in mystery in the future. That's what I was saying, that Modi must have factored in that removal of Shivraj after such a splendid performance in the assembly election would be questioned. And therefore, he must have some bigger roles for him in the mind. What those bigger roles will be, only will be revealed in the future.
So like a cabinet minister is not a bigger role than chief minister, chief. I'm just trying to understand.
I'm not stopping at the cabinet minister thing. There could be something much bigger which we don't anticipate. So let us wait for some time. And the best part is that he's not whiffed, That is normally people, when they are removed from the chief ministership and marginalized or brought to the cabinet position, their body language will change, their tone and tenor will change. But here is a man who is absolutely calm and cool and said that I am dedicated, I am a servant of the party, whatever the party says I will do. So this kind of a temper that is also brought to the entire party cadre and the ministers who are being deprived this time. That look, if you are deprived of the portfolio, don't feel that you have it right on the chair. There are so many broader compulsions of the party, and that's why the party is bringing in such a third term, otherwise stay in the opposition. So all these things, some people don't understand, but Shivraj is not that stuff. Shivraj probably understands that he is meant for the party, is dedicated for the party, and whatever the party would say, he will do it as he was the chief minister as he was doing as chief minister of Madhya Pradesh.
Okay. But the interesting thing, Karthikeya, I would just like to add one line to it here is that irrespective of, the fact is that there is absolutely no justification of, why a man who has been performing as a fantastic chief minister is getting result for the Bharatiya Janata Party was removed so unceremoniously. Because, and if you remember, the first 2-3 days after he was removed and all, which is very human, he was a bit taken aback by the kind of result. But then, unlike others, he immediately regained his composure and went about as if nothing has happened to him. Went on the entire crisscrossing of Madhya Pradesh and all. But for him to be fight as, the member of parliament, to be inducted as cabinet and all, is something which, the BJP has not been able to explain.
Can I say that Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Rajesh, is a dark horse?
Dark horse in which sense? Because if he's being part of the cabinet, then I think, this was something on expected lines. Otherwise, it would have been very, very clear that if he was not made party, or if he was not made a cabinet minister and a senior cabinet minister at that, then it would be very clear that there was something else. There was a personal bias or some other thing which was working against him.
Achha, what comes to your mind? The first thing that comes to your mind when I say who's going to be the next BJP president?
I am sorry, I have to confess blank.
Blank?
Because I can't honestly think of a person of that stature who would fill the place.
Jayanto, what comes to your mind when I say who's going to be the next BJP president? I'm sure Mr. Nadda is not going to continue in both positions.
To answer that, I'm going to reiterate. When it is Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Amit Shah, it's very difficult to define or describe, leave alone predict what is going to happen. Because all the names that come to mind are there in the list of the cabinet ministers who are going to take oath right now. And knowing very well that the BJP strictly follows one man, one position, especially concerning the organization and concerning the government. So they are not going to take that chair. So yeah, like Brajesh, I throw up my hands. It's all yours, Karthikeyan.
Okay. Dr. Verma?
I would not so much give up on this, Karthikeyan. And I would still think that these rules are not finality, that one man, one position. And looking at the new dynamics of the political scenario, the BJP can revisit this kind of a rule. And I think that we may be in for some surprises. That's what I am reserving my, opinion on this particular point. Who will be the next president of the BJP? But I also, it's very strange that none of us are able to visualize any person who can fit, step in the shoes of Nadda. So, I mean, this is really a puzzle right now before all of us and before the nation, that who next is the BJP president. But my hunch is that the BJP will probably revisit, if it is a rule, they can revise the rule, and there's nothing wrong in that. And maybe that for some short period, there can be some additional, responsibility bestowed on Mr. Amit Shah.
Additional responsibility, Brijesh?
Could be, because, honestly speaking, this is one thing which, many criticize Congress for and all, that, you only one person and all has to be the right to be the chief of the party and all. I think, but, in the last 10 years also, the appointment of JP Nadda was not as if, some sort of contest was being there. The only person who has the ball bearings to be the Bharatiya Janata Party's chief right now, given the fact that they have to navigate perhaps the choppiest water of Modi era. I'm not going before that, but of the Modi era, in the sense that that there are two crucial elections which may put additional burden on the government, which is the Maharashtra and Haryana, both of which are with BJP and its allies. And you have to have somebody with the authority of Amit Shah. Until unless you have the authority of Amit Shah, or you have, that absolute faith connection with the top man, you will not be able to take a position, and it always has to be, you always have to second guess your act and all. JP Nadda, it was very clear who was running the party and who was running the government. So nobody was in any kind of confusion. But right now, if barring any big surprises, Dr. Verma is hinting at, and rightly so, I'm not getting into any debate there, given the last 10-year experience. But I think, nobody readily comes to mind who has the required authority. JP Nadda, if he didn't have the authority, at least he has the stature. Right now, you can't random think of anybody who has the required stature, if not the authority, to be the BJP party president.
Yes, I kind of agree that, a person needs to be either completely a dark horse appointment, or person is there and right in front of you, and one of them goes on to become the president of the party. But that's for the later to be decided. But Dr. Verma, do you think that the Raisina Hill ministries will be representing continuity, or do you feel that there will be a rejig in terms of new people and in terms of reallocation? But before I go any further, let me play out the bites that we have got before the function begins at 7:15. Let's play out all the reactions we have.
शपथ समारोह के लिए जा रहे हैं, तो मंत्री पद भी मिल गया है।
ये तो आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी और हम सबों के पार्टी के नेता माननीय मुख्यमंत्री नीतीश कुमार जी ने भरोसा जताया है और उस भरोसे पर पूरे तौर पर खरा उतरने का प्रयास होगा। मांग हम लोगों ने नहीं रखी है, किसी मंत्रालय की मांग नहीं रखी है। ये कहाँ से खबर आई हमको ही नहीं समझ में आता। कोई किसी मंत्रालय की मांग हम लोगों की तरफ से नहीं हुई। ये प्रधानमंत्री जी का विशेषाधिकार होता है कि वो किसको कौन सा विभाग, किसको किस विभाग के लिए उपयुक्त समझते हैं।
ये देश विकास की राह पर तीव्र गति से आगे बढ़ रहा है। खास तौर पर हम जैसे युवा सांसदों को उनके अनुभव से सीखने की बहुत ज़रूरत है। उन्हीं का अनुभव का आज लाभ लेने हम लोग वहाँ गए थे। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कई ऐसी बातें हैं जो हम लोगों को बताई, जो हम लोग के लिए सीखनी भी ज़रूरी हैं। आज बहुत इनफॉर्मल बातचीत प्रधानमंत्री जी के साथ बैठकर हुई।